Hi there. Welcome to the Ultimate Success Podcast. We have a tremendous guest today. His name is Matt Johnson, and Matt is the host of Real Estate Thought Leaders. It's a podcast that is really targeted at the thought leaders in real estate, thought leaders talking to other thought leaders. But what I like to say about Matt is he is really an influencer of influencers. This guy knows what is going on in the real estate industry. He sees it from the very top level. He works with coaches and speakers and thought leaders in the industry who are having impact on all of us as agents in the industry. I think you're going to get a lot out of this podcast today as we hear from our guest, Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson, welcome to the Ultimate Success Podcast. Matt, you are actually our first guest in the new Ultimate Success Podcast format that we're doing. So I'm so happy to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I assume that my bill is in the mail. I will have to fork over a pretty penny to be to turn out to be the first guest on the new format.
Well, you know, it just says something about how highly we regard you. And so, Matt, you are a podcast host yourself. You've had a lot of success with that, and you've been around this real estate industry for a long time. But here's what I want to do to start for our audience. Tell us, what has been your real estate experience, and how did we get to today where you are pretty much an influencer of real estate influencers?
Yeah, that's a mouthful, right? Never thought of it quite like that, but I really appreciate that. So the short story is, thought I was going to flip houses. Instead, I read the Red Book. Millionaire Real Estate Agent caught me at like 25 years old, perfect time, caught the vision. I'm like, great, I'm going to get my license, start a team. So that's what I did, started a team with a buddy. Had some success, specialized in expired listings on my side. He handled the buyers. We started to kind of go down that path. And in my mid-20s, shockingly, I did not have the emotional maturity to handle stressed out expired sellers in the summer of 2007. I know, it's a shocker to everyone. Man. So I went and decided, you know what? I'm going to be a musician and chase the dream for like 5 years, and then got back into real estate through a different avenue. So I ended up coming back in. The skills that I built as a musician led me to do like video and email marketing for some of the top agents and teams in the country, right? That led to one of them pitching me on the idea of starting a podcast. That became Real Estate Uncensored, which is my first show. That did really well. It's such a niche environment. Like it did well for us, but this is in the days when there was only like 4 podcasters. It was like Pat Hyben, Toby Salgado, us, and a couple of others like Joshua Smith. So very early days, but we got in at the right time. The show did really well. It put me on stage all across the US and Canada and even Australia one time, which was awesome. And I got to coach agents. We built an EXP downline. We did a whole bunch of stuff, right? Shifting, basically the business now is a done for you, video podcast, video content agency. And we've worked with a bunch of real estate people over the years. We've expanded on beyond that, but real estate is always kind of like my first love. So I'm in the trenches every day, working with the people that are coaching, leading, and training agents, trying to help them figure out how to better reach and engage agents. So it's an interesting kind of journey, but yeah, like I am fully always like 1 foot in the real estate space. And you and I met at Beats because I wanted to meet more real estate influencers.
Right. And for our audience, Beats Conference is an industry conference that brings associations and a lot of speakers and real estate leaders together all in one room. And so Matt was there. Matt, you actually produce one of the keynotes there, right? Marky?
Mm-hmm. Marky, yep. Yeah, we produced a podcast for many years. Like 2018 was when she started with us. Yeah.
That's amazing. Marky's actually in 2 or 3 weeks here. She'll actually be on the show. So we're really excited to have her on the show as well. Okay, so you have been around all of it. You've been an agent. You've been a marketer. I think I want to zero in on this whole real estate marketing concept, because I'm sure in your time you've seen a lot of changes in this industry. So as we're talking to agents today and we're going to help them be better marketers, where did you start in terms of, marketing? You mentioned video and podcasting, but where is marketing going in today's real estate world?
Well, I'll start with an anecdote because another agency owner friend of mine sent this to me, and it was a screenshot of an agent asking them, because they provide like video marketing services to agents. And the agent was basically saying like, hey, can't you guys just spin up like a HeyGen AI avatar and, the AI writes the script and then I can just send that video to my database? And of course, the answer to that is, you can try. Would you send that to your mom? Would you send that to your former coworker that trusts you now to, have a conversation about listing their home? It's like the answer to that is no. The instinctive answer to anyone you care about is no, I wouldn't send them an AI avatar video. And so why would you send it to somebody that you don't know yet to expect them to, develop a relationship with you? I understand that there's prospecting, we're buying leads and things like that. We can't be personal at every level until people take a couple of steps toward us. But if you're talking about your database, right, like sending them AI avatar videos is not exactly going to be great for you in the long run. And to me, that's where marketing is at. You've got people have divided into two camps: agents that are freaked out because they think AI might completely eliminate their role or change it so fundamentally that it's not even recognizable. And then you've got people that think that AI is going to make the business incredibly easy, and especially on the marketing angle. And what was interesting about my journey of talking to a lot of real estate influencers when I started my own show again last year was that not a single one of them ever said they were looking at AI as a trend for the sales and marketing piece of it. By last summer, 2025, they had already shifted and were more interested in AI for the operational stuff because they had already tried enough of the sales and marketing stuff to know, oh, this is not going to bode well for us. Like, we need to pull back from this. So I think that's still prevalent though in the agents, is they're either freaked out and not delving into AI at all, or they think it's going to make everything easy and they're looking for how to use AI to basically outsource all of their marketing, which is the exact opposite thing to do right now.
Yeah. Why is that? Why shouldn't I outsource my AI or my marketing to AI?
Yeah. Because the only people that will resonate with it are the people that are fooled by it. And it's only until they figure out that they were fooled. And that's not a great feeling. So if you look at how the younger generations, people that are teenagers, early 20s, are behaving towards AI, they already are looking at it suspiciously by default. I was on a really interesting call early this year with a bunch of coaches, copywriters, people like that. And it was kind of like a hot seat. So people were going around sharing their websites and kind of getting critique from this copywriting legend. And I was one of them. So basically one of the things that they came back with was, what's this, like I had a row on my website at the time of all my clients' publicity shots and like a description of who they were: founder, speaker, like all this stuff. They were my clients' actual, like every single one was their actual headshot. And that's who they really are, right?
Yeah.
The default assumption was if I can't click each one, like the default assumption from the audience was that's AI. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to take that off my website. It actively hurts people from trusting me because the default assumption has switched so far the other way that things are AI and fake unless you prove otherwise.
Yeah.
So I just think we're coming into a really weird time in marketing where agents are going to have to be even more personal, right? Even more relatable. I had a client the other day reach out to my team because she was concerned that in the video footage of her podcast, you could see on screen that she took a sip of water. And we're like, you're a human being. Like, why wouldn't you take a sip of water while you're recording a podcast? You're talking to someone for 45 minutes.
Is that a problem? Because I drink water the whole time I'm on podcasts.
Always have. Millions of downloads. Was never an issue. It's a total non-issue. In fact, it's a feature. If you look at what some of the YouTube algorithm kind of growth engineers say, they will tell you the YouTube algorithm behind the scenes is looking for things that are real objects to be held up in the shot, not to be digitally added in later. So if you bring somebody onto the show and you want them to share a resource, rather than having it screen shared, have them hold up a print copy, grab a screen grab of that, and put that in the thumbnail of your YouTube video. Like, that's what the algorithm wants. Because we're in a time where the consumers need you to prove that you're real, because they're going to assume you're fake unless you prove otherwise.
So if that's the case, like, I mean, I've had a lot of these AI conversations on here, at conferences. I've been on all kinds of classes where we've talked about AI and how it's the future of real estate. But if that's the case, if people are going to question it, what's the best way for us to be using it? Why even use it at all?
Yeah. Well, to make the process of doing very personal things more efficient.
Good. That's good.
So in my own business, I was able to build, because we don't have, like as agency owners, we don't have RedX, we don't have Vulcan 7, right? We don't have lead generation software companies that go out and find the data for us. I was able to build Vibe Code, basically an app to replicate if Vulcan 7 generated like leads for agency owners. I was able to do that with an API into the podcast index that tracks 4 million shows, including a bunch of inactive shows that I might want to go after as prospects, because those are like expired listings for me. So like, okay, great. I was able to AI code something out of existence that, I didn't have to go find a software or pay for a software or whatever. And that's all well and good. But what that enabled me to do is then put staff and my time into doing more hyper-personalized outreach, as opposed to, let's say, going and doing a bunch of AI-generated email outreach, right? So we flipped it on its head. Another example is Sean, the founder of Corded.io. He was on my show towards the end of last year, and they reach out to brokers by basically using AI to find insights about the real agents and their brokers that they might be time that those agents are about to leave. You can actually build that with predictable analytics, and they have the data. So they send hyper personal emails to broker owners to tell them, like, hey, these are the 5 agents you need to be concerned with that are leaving your brokerage in the next year. And oh, by the way, we can also tell you who are the 5 from your rival that you should probably start contacting a little bit more over the next 6 months, because they're primed to leave. So the AI kind of like lives behind the scenes, and then they use it to do really hyper personal communication with their prospects.
Yeah. So what does hyper personal outreach look like for the average real estate agent today?
So that would be, well, that goes to a lot of things, but basically don't use AI. Don't let that stand between you and the person that's receiving the message. The messenger has to be you. The AI is making it more efficient for you to say personalized things. So research on specific neighborhoods, for example, analyzing market trends and being able to put them into actionable insights. You can throw those into AI tools now and kind of extract insights a lot faster. You can then have the AI give you not a script, but like a bullet point overview that you can follow to do quickly, like an Instagram reel on the latest market trends and things like that. Yeah, it's about making you more efficient so that you can do more of the personal stuff you probably know you should and could be doing, but you don't do because you claim you don't have time. AI can take care of the I don't have time problem.
Yeah, that's good. So where, in terms of getting back to just raw real estate marketing, I'm going to grow my business. I'm going to take my business to the next level. And I know you work with coaches and speakers who are helping agents do this every day. Plus you've been in the industry. Where's it going? Like right now, I'm an agent. What should I be doing to grow my business?
Well, you have to realize that the online platforms where you think you need to do marketing have become, especially over the last, let's say, 3 years, a mostly winner take all game. If you brand yourself broadly, attempt to reach a broad audience, and sell something that broadly a whole bunch of other people sell. And that's by default, that's real estate agents, right? Like we're all selling something that people generally understand and they know. So if you're going to compete and try to reach people on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and places like that, there's only room at the top for the top 1% of creators, and they're going to get 95% or more of the views, and everybody else is going to fight for the scraps. So unless you're really dedicated, don't compete at that level on those platforms unless you're prepared to, like if you're prepared to compete at the highest levels. But you don't have to compete at the highest levels, right? And that's by niching down, getting really, really clear on who you want to work with. And I'll tell you from the perspective of the coaches that I've worked with and from mine of talking to a lot of agents over the years. And I made it a point to try to feature as many of these agents as possible on Real Estate Uncensored back in the day. Was the agents that do the best, the quickest, figure out who their ideal person is, and then they aim all of their marketing efforts at that person and absolutely nobody else. Mm-hmm. And it's the biggest hurdle that agents have to get over, but the ones that figure out how to get over the hurdle succeed the fastest. They end up having the easiest time of marketing. They're not in a winner-take-all environment because they separate themselves easily from the competition. They're not trying to reach everybody. And it's what every coach, a lot of coaches that I've talked to would love for their clients to do. It's kind of like the bane of their existence. If they could only get their clients to do one thing, that's one of those one things. Pick an ideal client and speak and reach and do events for and email market to and social media to and YouTube to only that person.
If I have that avatar, so to say, that perfect client, and that is who I put everything in terms of my marketing. I'm going after marketing to that one person. Am I going to eliminate opportunities with others that would have worked with me because they look at my marketing and they're like, I'm not really the ideal client? Does it work like that?
The answer is yes, and that's good. Because you should, if you like, the only marketing that's going to work over the next few years is marketing that's polarizing enough that someone doesn't like it. Marketing that no one can disagree with is invisible.
Politics and religion should come into my marketing now. Is that what I'm hearing?
Maybe. Yeah, that's tricky, but yeah, it's. I mean, you can be the Christian, real estate agent. You can be the red state, blue state real estate agent. That will absolutely work. But when I talk about like niching down, like becoming micro famous, kind of in an area, you can do it in a lot of different ways. You've got geographic.
Okay.
You've got niching down to a affinity group, so people that consider themselves in the same group because of a similar interest. Belief system, community involvement, nonprofits, whatever the case is. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. So you can get really, really clear about the type of person you want to work with, but that doesn't have to mean it's the move up seller age 35 to 39 with 2.5 kids and wants to go from, the 2,000 square foot house to the 2,800 square foot. Like you don't have to get so specific that you literally eliminate the other 90% of the people that want to buy and sell a home. It's about finding the people that you want to work with the most and finding a way to speak to them. And I'll give you one other thing. The word of mouth will get you more of the right people than you ever dreamed possible. And they will recommend you to people that are one step away. And those people will see your marketing and go, ooh, I'd really like to work with them, but I'm not sure they'll work with me. And those referrals are awesome, right? Because they come in thinking, wow, this person's super successful and they don't quite serve my situation, but I wonder if they'd be willing to make an exception for me. And then you're like, ooh, I don't know. Let's have a conversation. We'll see, like, yes, maybe I can make an exception. And that's when you go into like a listing presentation in a very powerful position.
Yeah, where they're begging to work with you instead of you begging for the business, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, I've picked that person, that group, that ideal agent that I want to work with, and I want to become micro famous in that community. Give me some step-by-step. How do I actually do it? What platform should I be using? What is the step-by-step?
Let's put it this way. If I were an agent today, first of all, I would match the platform where I'm going to be active to my personality. Absolutely do not attempt to start a platform from scratch where you are not already active and genuinely enjoy being there. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see everyone make, agents and thought leaders and coaches alike, is they think new brand, new whatever, new podcast, new, coaching program, new whatever. Start a new Instagram account, start a new, like, I've never done TikTok before. Let's start a TikTok. No. The platforms only reward people that genuinely enjoy being there enough to get obsessed with it and are there all the time and interact, right? So only join a platform that you're actually genuinely enjoying, that you're already kind of engaging and consuming and interacting on. Beyond that, I think there's a huge amount of opportunity in doing the offline things that we all forgot about, right? If you look at the Google Trends like search traffic, here's what gets all the attention from real estate agents. Social media, email marketing is close behind, surprisingly. And then you've got like digital marketing in general, like squishy kind of, stuff like that. And real estate CRM. Like that's what when you look at what the average agent types in to figure out what I should be doing to get more clients, that's where their head goes. You know where direct mail is? It's so little, it's not even on the map. It doesn't even register above zero in terms of just like search traffic compared to social media and things like that, right? Yeah. And it's because we've been convinced by social media that if you're not on social media, you're not marketing, that they are synonymous, they are one and the same. The problem is that promise is broken. The promise that the average agent can get on, build an audience of about 1,000 or 1,500 people on Facebook or Instagram, and just kind of like be present, create good content, make connections, move them into DMs and get listings and things like that. It doesn't work that way anymore. Right. The platforms have gotten so good at figuring out what gets attention and directing the views to only that content, that the original promise of social media that Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and all the people that real estate has looked up to for a long time, that was a different environment. That promise is broken. So I wouldn't put all my effort into that. There are some exceptions. And if you really, really enjoy a platform, by all means go there, because you probably have a sense of what works. But if you don't enjoy that platform, absolutely do not go there, because there's so much opportunity in real events, building up your actual real reviews, right? Yeah. Starting to build up a bank of Google reviews, things like that, where it's search oriented. It's evergreen, it's everlasting. Those are going to be around for a long, long time.
Yeah. You don't think Google's going away?
No, because that has to do with like AI, and Google is doing very well on that.
Right.
So no, it's not going away.
By the way, can you please refrain from drinking water during our... I'm kidding. No, it's that real thing, right? Authentic. That's right. So, well, you mentioned direct mail. I'm kind of interested in that because I've been a believer in direct mail for a long time. However, like when I teach Ultimate Success Framework, our framework is that you have to hit them from all angles. So you do need social media, but it's not the only thing you need. Like we believe in email campaigns. And we believe in direct mail to the point where like I want to be in public. And I've had this happen a lot through my career where I'm out in public and they're like, Mark, I see you everywhere. And it's because, they saw me on social media, and I get a lot of attention for, usually it's the silly videos I put out on social media. And then I get some attention for the emails that I'll send out. But the thing is I believe they say that because they probably just threw me away. But they saw my face related to real estate as they were doing it. I think there's value in that. Are there other mediums besides direct mail that we're missing that we should be focused on?
I do think at the average agent level, email marketing still gets ignored a lot. And within that, email segmentation gets ignored. Okay. It almost excludes, it's a foreign concept. Dividing your email list into segments of people that you can communicate with differently. Like for the average agent, it's so much lift just to send a generic email to their entire database that's all they have the mental effort and energy for. I would encourage them, the days of that being valid might be quickly ending if the AI algorithms being put into email inboxes have their way, because AI is being used to get really finely tuned at what emails people actually open and diverting everything else into spam. So you've got to be able to communicate with people in such a way by email that they actually look forward to and open your emails. Well, it's really hard to do that if you're just kind of like blasting something general to everyone in your database. Right. So again, it goes down to like, who do you really want to serve? Who do you really want to talk to? If you can segment your email list into those people, pull that segment out only and stop emailing your entire database, I would start to focus on just the people you really want to work with. That way you can get really specific in what your emails are about and actually deliver something people will look forward to opening. Because if you can do that, no AI will stop you from landing in their inbox.
So give me some examples, things that right now I could be sending out to my segments that they would actually want to open.
So you've got, interestingly enough, this has not made its way into real estate as far as I can tell, but there's been a rise in hyper local email newsletters. So suburb specific or area of town, La Jolla versus Pacific Beach, that kind of thing, where there are people that are starting legit 5 and 6 figure businesses off of just delivering hyper local news by email newsletters. So in other words, what would have been a print circular, something you see outside the grocery store that you got for free, the penny saver, the whatever, the hyper local stuff, that's all moved into email newsletters. Real estate agents should have jumped on that trend, a million years ago. It basically happened completely without us. And that's still something that in a lot of areas is still wide open. You could use it. It's obviously going to generate you leads because you can promote yourself in every one. So there's a direct way to make money off of it. The people that have done it have generated enough advertising revenue off of it for it to be their full-time job. So they go out and get sponsors, so like you can do both, right? You can do both. But yeah, that's an interesting kind of trend that basically just completely passed us by.
Well, yeah, neighborhoods are kind of what we do, right? If we're going to get hyper local. And then the other thing you look at in the industry, I mean, look at homes.com now, where I think they were kind of on the forefront of sending photographers and content creators into local markets and getting to know those communities so that when I pull up a listing in Centerville, Ohio, that it pulls up the local parks and the local community centers. And, so as agents, we should, if that kind of a company, if CoStar, one of the largest real estate portal conglomerates in the country, is doing it, why aren't we doing it?
Yeah, exactly. Because these are conversations you're having anyway. They have to go out and intentionally create the content, spend a lot of money. The return is unclear because everything's measured in like metrics that are impossible to track to those pages.
Right.
It's very murky for them. It's not murky for the average agent. If you send an email out to a targeted list and one of those replies back, or you have a conversation with someone that reads your email newsletter, and the next thing you know, you have a listing presentation next week at their house, that's what did it. It's much easier to tell. It's much easier to attribute, and then you've made a good investment. So those are the types of things that I'd be looking at if I was the average agent looking for something unique to do right now, is hyper local or hyper specific. And again, the affinity groups. Find something that you care about where there's a bunch of other people in your city that also care about that, and start an email newsletter or some type of other really simple content that you can create around that. If you're comfortable on video, maybe do an Instagram account or TikTok or whatever. The drop dead easiest is the email newsletter because it's easy to create. And just document things as you're going about your day as an agent and repackage that into content that basically AI doesn't have access to because everything AI pulls from is 6 months old or more.
Yeah, correct. You mentioned video. Is video still important?
Yes, but
I like big butts.
Yeah, it's yes, it's important. It's a high hurdle. And the thing that agents struggle with, and also coaches and influencers struggle with this too, is the trend in the consuming public is moving away from high quality, because high quality is becoming commoditized. It's becoming common. So now what's not common is to be really engaging and really authentic, but messy. And agents have a really hard time doing anything that's messy. They want to project, going back to your word, professionalism. Professionalism is like who you are and how you approach your role as a problem solver for the consuming public. That doesn't mean no one can ever see you take a drink of water. Or if you don't look perfect, if your hair's not perfect in a video, somebody's not going to reach out. Like, I don't think agents realize just how much the general public has swung the opposite way. And they're so looking for authentic.
Yeah.
The algorithms on those platforms are rewarding stuff that's messier, but clear.
Yeah.
Right. If it takes you, if it takes you an entire sentence, to explain like what a video is about, like you've already lost 90% of the audience. Like so it's you have to put your time and effort, if you're going to create content for people, into making sure that you're creating something that somebody actually cares about, and then in explaining why they should care about it in like a fraction of the time it normally takes
Yeah.
you. And don't worry about so much the production value of things. And I think because production value is just something you can pour some money into and then you solve that problem, that's where everybody's attention goes. And that's not what the algorithms are rewarding. And that's because the general public, that's not what they're looking for. And
It's
that's
really
really
kind
hard
of,
for agents.
it's interesting because I tend to be a perfectionist. In fact, I've recorded thousands. And when I say thousands, I'm being straight up, thousands of videos that I could probably pull up in my phone here that have never gone anywhere because I didn't like how I said something or how I looked. And here's the thing, I spend most of my life on video and I'm still super picky and want it to be perfect. And to hear you just kind of gave me permission to be imperfect. Yeah. It's like when I was a kid, I think back, my dad, he's 54 years in real estate, highly successful career. But as a kid, I remember when he made the decision to go from wearing suits to more business casual, huge decision for him. Like not wearing a tie was a huge decision for him. And then the whole rest of my time growing up, and even as I got into real estate, like we would go out in public to a movie or whatever, and he was still dressed in his business casual. He would never let down, and I think that was the old school realtor in him. The new school realtor, it's that perfection thing where it does have to be perfect. And so I feel like you just gave a lot of agents permission to be real.
Yeah. And that's what that is. Messy is a proxy for real. What people want is real.
Yeah.
What they'll settle for is messy because messy conveys that it's real and that you didn't care about it. But within that, the content has to be something that they care about and that you've put effort into creating so that you can be really, really clear about what you're communicating, which is really good. I mean, if you're an agent, you want your communication to be concise. You want to pack content into your words and not meander. So one of the benefits of just creating content, if you're going to hop on video, even if nobody ever watches it, it forces you to get more concise in your communication. And that's a very good thing.
Man, that's so good. Okay, so we're getting all kinds of good content here today, and I've really enjoyed our conversation. Before I ask you rapid fire questions, you work with so many influencers. In fact, I listen to your show as someone who speaks and coaches and is in front of people. I listen to your show because a lot of the guests that you have on are people that I look up to. But I want to know on real estate influencers. That's the current podcast.
Real estate thought leaders.
I'm sorry, real estate thought leaders. Influencers is the term that I keep using. Yep. Real estate thought leaders. Who's your favorite guest? Who's the one that if someone's going to go, I know this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
Bad.
If someone's going to go back and listen to one episode, who do they need to listen to? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh man. I will, for the sake of not offending a whole bunch of people, I will recommend our mutual friend Marky, because she had some really amazing things to say about how real estate as a whole has neglected some key demographic groups, which she's absolutely right about. Yep. And it's a good lesson in the affinity groups. If you can find an affinity group where people kind of bind together because they feel neglected or taken advantage of by the rest of society in any way, that is ripe for you, belonging to that. Like, people want belonging right now, right? Like that's a word that's making its way across the marketing landscape. People want belonging. If you can be the agent that provides service from within that community, because you all belong to the same community, it's really powerful. And it's way better than something like an agent they can find through a Google search. Okay, that's great. And obviously Marky's a great choice because she is she is amazing. I can't wait to have her on the show. She's such a fireball. But okay, if I see this speaker or these speakers coming to my state, a local conference,
to my association, who should I absolutely not miss right now? Because you work with all of them, you've seen all of them, you've talked to so many of them. Who should I absolutely 100% not miss if they're coming to my area? Marky's on that list, of course.
He's on the list, yeah.
But who are the others on that list right now for you?
The others that I would add would be Matthew Rathbun. His stuff on AI, really, really genuinely useful and practical, because he's talking about how to use it on the back end to make the right things easier. It's a very similar approach to what I think is working right now, and the right approach. And Lance Billingsley, he's a client as well, and he hosts a show called the 13% Podcast. He just came out with a book of the same name, the 13%, and it's about the mindset of the top 13%. In other words, the agents that don't fail out every 5 years like 87% of the industry does, right? He's starting to speak more often, right, around the country. He'll be really, really good. I've known him for a few years. He's had this content kind of like locked inside him. It finally just came out in his book, and now he's starting to speak in public about it. And that's going to be really, really good. And he's a really great, not just a great guy and a great human, but yeah, like a great motivator and a great speaker on mindset.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So we have two, really three, that if these speakers, if these thought leaders are coming to your market or anywhere close to you, coming to a state conference or whatever it is, you don't want to miss them. Or if you're going to NAR, because I believe Marky and Matthew are going to be speaking at NAR NXT this year. But if Lance is as well, don't miss Lance Billingsley, Marky Lemons Ryle, or did I say that in the right order? You got it
perfect. Yep.
I did. Okay. And then Matthew Rathbun, which Matthew's become such a good friend and just someone that I have such a respect for, but he is a phenomenal educator. So the three great recommendations right there. Okay, Matt, I've got three questions for you. I ask every guest.
Well, that wasn't one of the first ones. You got three more? No. Okay, hit me.
I wanted to put you on the spot, make you a little bit uncomfortable so that you don't feel so bad about these three questions.
All right.
Okay, number one, I want to know who's had the greatest influence on your life, the person that you would say, if it weren't for this person, I wouldn't even be here today.
Man. Well, if you put it like that, it's hard not to say my dad.
Yeah.
He was a pastor growing up. I idolized him. It's the reason I've gone on the path that I am now. Yeah, he was my superhero.
That's awesome. And you know what? It's interesting. I think as we look back at all of the guests that we've had, and I've asked this question of dads come up a lot. And so, as we're recording this, we've just come out of Father's Day. And I think it speaks to the impact that we get to have as dads and the influence. So are you a father?
No, I like to impact through ideas. And like that's part of why I work in this space is I get to help put really amazing ideas into the world. And that multiplies my impact far more than if I had kids of my own.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's a life lesson that you've learned the hard way that you wish someone would have told you sooner?
Find where your skills are valued the most, where you can be rare and valuable to other people. Ooh, I bounced around a lot of jobs because I hadn't found my place in the world where my skills were valuable. I stumbled into the right place. I figured out kind of what my superpowers are, and I somehow kind of like ended up with a business that rewarded them, and the rest of the stuff I could outsource, right? Yeah, it's figure that out as quickly as possible. And if you're not in a place or in an industry or an environment, or if you're working with clients and the thing that you're best at as an agent isn't what they value, find other people to work with where your superpower is rare and valuable to them. Yeah. And just, really double down on working with them, because that will make a huge difference in your life.
I love that. Okay. Last question. We talk about ultimate success on this show. And I want to help people achieve ultimate success. For Matt Johnson, what does ultimate success look like?
We only have limited time, so I'm going to just encapsulate it mostly in one word: freedom.
Yeah.
That is my highest value. The fact that real estate and what it has led to has allowed me to build a business where my freedom is absolute. I get to choose who I work with. I get to choose what my daily life looks like. When something is hard, it's because I've chosen to go in that direction, and I chose that hard thing to do. Somebody else didn't come along and go, Matt, today I need you to do X, Y, Z, and it's going to suck. And after that, I need you to grab a broom and sweep up after yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to for me.
Well, that's awesome. I've got good notes. I've learned a lot from you today. And Matt, I'm just so grateful for all that you're doing in the industry right now. I'm grateful that you took the time to be our first guest in this new format of the Ultimate Success Podcast. And I'm just so grateful for you. Where can people find you?
Getmicrofamous.com.
Okay.
So if you are, let's say you're successful and you have found a unique way to succeed in real estate, whether that's generating leads, scaling up a buyer agent type of business, like just something different, something unique. And you think you might want to speak on it, or people are asking you to speak on it. You're going on some podcasts, like you can kind of see the path that you're on. Maybe you feel like you've got a book in you. Let's talk, because those are the people that I like to work with. I like to work with early stage coaches, speakers, authors, people that have done something really unique and they want to teach other people about it. They want to lead. They want to lead through ideas. And you can see that's kind of the path that you're on. Yeah, I can help you get there.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Matt. Such a privilege.
Appreciate it.
What a great conversation with Matt Johnson today. And one of the new things that we're going to start doing on the Ultimate Success Podcast is we are actually going to come back and I'm going to give you some of the key takeaways that I got from my conversation with the guest. And so I want to start with Matt Johnson. What an awesome conversation we had today. And here are 3 keys that I took away. Number 1, authenticity will outperform artificial intelligence. Nothing can replace the relationships that you are building. Artificial intelligence is something that can help with that, can summarize data, it can help you with some content creation. But at the end of the day, it's about you being authentic, really also being imperfect. Really, we talked about him giving like the permission to be imperfect and authentic. Stop marketing to everyone. I really liked what he had to say about that, how we need to actually pick our ideal client, the client that we really want to work with, and then we need to market fully, put everything into marketing to that client, and it will actually lead to other opportunities. But know who you want to work with, and that is the client that we're actually going to go after with all of our marketing. And the last thing that he talked about was using technology to create more human connections. I liked how he talked about hyper-local. Like we can go and we can be hyper-local, and then we can, instead of asking AI about the hyper-local things, we know the local market. We use AI to help us refine that messaging. And then, again, we are authentic with it. I loved one of the things that he said today about all of our marketing should be polarizing to someone. It was just such a great line. I think it really went with the second key takeaway: stop marketing to everyone. But those are some of the things that I took away. I've got a whole page of really good notes from our conversation today. And I hope that you are also walking away with something that's going to help you be better. Hey, listen, remember, we have the Ultimate Success Framework, and we're about to launch the Ultimate Success Community. You can get the 100 Days to 100K course there. There's going to be community we're building around that. But here's what's really exciting to me about it is that we have so much great content coming to help you do more business, live a better life, achieve ultimate success. And so lots of great stuff is coming. A lot of great guests are coming up on the show as well. And so I'm so happy that we get to bring all of this to you. Hey, Ultimate Success Framework, though, Ultimate Success Community. Learn more at itsmarkpeebles.com. itsmarkpeebles.com. Thanks again for being with us today. Have a great week. Bye now.